come closer.
You'll edit this?
No comments. I don't want to answer this. Is that possible?
Oh, it is modern day slavery.
First of all, like you need to actually evaluate each and everything beforehand.
The auto drivers are like, one of them asked me if I knew Kannada and he was like little bit annoyed when I didn't know it.
Maybe content creators.
I don't think it's simple though.
I think it is simple.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think this is simple?
Yeah, it is.
Damn.
I actually recently got married, so I feel the shadi segment, it pays off really well. Like, you know, the photographers, the makeup artists, the decor people, like anything you give your hand to, like everyone's like quoting so high.
Get into a good college and get into a good company, and then you're good to go, because eventually I have seen so many people doing like crazy IT stuff and then they're earning like in...
Of course, bro, you're living in Karnataka, you're living in Bangalore, you don't learn the language Kannada, then what's the use of living here? Get out of here, bro.
Nice. Let's start. Alright, so how do you manage your expenses in a city like Bengaluru?
Bangalore is obviously very expensive and we have to make sure we're saving much and not like spending much. Apart from that, we'll also have to like keep investing here and there.
There's nothing for me to manage. I'm a college student.
I simply sleep it off and I also do budgeting, so yeah, it gets balanced.
I just avoid coming to streets like Church Street, especially to avoid my expenses.
I try to be very conscious with my spending choices.
Using credit cards, you can manage your expenses, bro. At the month end, last 10 days only on credit cards.
I think splitwise really helps, but otherwise I'm pretty sorted. I have more than I need.
Personal expenses, whenever I find something online and I want to buy it, what I basically do is I put it in my cart and wait for one day. If I think it's useful, then I'll buy it. Otherwise, I'll remove it from the cart.
We don't. It actually flows. You step out of the house and it's just like check. The money keeps going.
I reduce it on online ordering, and like I go outside, and when I'm with my friends, that time I spend. And when I'm like on my own, I try to reduce as much as possible.
I live in the suburb side towards Chandapura, so that's pretty cheap. My rent is hardly 10,000, and right now I recently got a job, so it's pretty easy for me to manage. That's why I can, afford the luxury and all.
Our hostel food is very bad, so I have stuff from outside almost every day. The money ends there.
Basically, don't go out. Call your friends over for BYOB.
Yeah.
Best way to save money.
I've kept my everyday expense like till 100. So if I don't spend on a day, I can spend 200 the next day.
Yeah, it's very difficult to manage expenses here. So I feel like you need to be really headstrong. First of all, like you need to actually evaluate each and everything beforehand. But then once you step out, you know that you're spending. Now you come to Church Street and then you're like, you have got a number of things to purchase, maybe this and that. But then if you have it in your head that, okay, this is how much I'm going to spend for the month and this is how much I'm going to save, then it's like, if you're headstrong, it's easy. Otherwise, nothing is.
I normally see where the offers are best. Okay, and so I go and try and get offers and expenses. Otherwise, I go for SIP, mutual funds. Few apps are there, so I invest in there.
So you only have to spend when you really need to. There's some things that you might think that you need, but you really don't. So you only spend it when you really, really have to.
You have to cut down on your expenses when you are young, up to the age of 30, and invest whatever you can. And after 30, if you have saved for 10 years, after 30 you can enjoy yourself and have enough income even from your investments and live a good life in a city like Bangalore.
Sometimes I make like an Excel sheet, and sometimes it's just so I keep my cash differently, separately, and then my UPI separately. So all the money that I get from home, like, sometimes they give paisa, like, oh, go get some sweets or something, and they just be nice and they give you extra paisa. So that I keep it like cash alag se, and then the UPI is always separate. So I use my UPI more, and only when my UPI has like 500-ish, only then I use my cash.
Bengaluru is an expensive city for sure in terms of cabs, if you don't have your own vehicle, then of course it's very, very expensive. What I do is like I don't look at GPay, my GPay account and the monthly expense, but I try, jokes apart, I try to just cut down the extra expenses to go out. Maybe I just call for the food, maybe I'll just take the subscription in such a way, maybe a credit card would work. But you know what, You can't just save money in Bangalore. You have to earn more and more money.
It's my first month in Bangalore, so I started using Notion for that, for expense tracking, so yeah.
Do you think unpaid internships is just modern day slavery, or is it just exposure in the end?
I think it depends. There are certain places where I would actually take an unpaid internship, but for the most part, it is slavery.
I am very much against the unpaid internship. No matter what, you're giving your time here, you're learning, yes, completely yes, but then eventually you should get some kind of monetary terms aspect, because what helps you is that it boosts your confidence first. Second, if you do not have the money, then of course it's just you can't survive in Bangalore. That's what it is.
It's modern day slavery for sure. I would never do an internship which is unpaid.
I think you couldn't have framed that question better than that. Somehow, some way, maybe some people start paying for all those efforts.
Modern day slavery.
There's nothing called as exposure now in this generation, I feel like.
I think it actually gives us a benefit, because these days it's not really about marks and they look into a lot of our profile. And for things like that, as Karan said, if the place is like good, I would probably do an unpaid internship there. It's just the portfolio by the end of the day.
It is. Modern day slavery for sure.
If you are going for a good internship, then they'll give you money.
I think it is modern day slavery, yeah, of course, because students put a lot of effort doing all the work. I think they should be paid, yeah.
So I'm a recruiter, right? I'm a HR, so please, no comments. I don't want to answer this. Is that possible?
It is modern day slavery.
In some cases, yes. In some cases, not. Because I've done an unpaid internship. Probably, if I would have gone the same path, maybe it would help me. But then that internship didn't really help me in my career. So, yeah. So in some cases, if you follow the same path, then maybe, yeah, like it'll be like an add-on.
Well, there should be some stipend. I mean, you can't just make a person work free of cost. Internship is there, but at least they should get some pocket money. Whoever is coming and joining my company, they are also giving the effort and some return somehow. So in return, as an appreciation, we should also give back something. There's nothing called free in life.
I did my internship as a hotel management graduate. So that's the epitome of labor without money or without pay.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Do you think that's modern day slavery?
It is, of course it
Definitely.
is. The kind of work that we used to do. Though I came from a very qualified college, I still had to do the labor intensive work, and I was not getting paid. So
It depends on where you get your internship. Suppose you get internships in good companies where they look after you well or they train you well, it's worth it, even if it's unpaid. As long as you're learning something.
So being an MBBS student, I think that it's good for exposure, because hospitals, you're going to have to meet the patients and everything. And it's compulsory to do internship for us for 1 year. So I think it's pretty much important, but a little bit of money would always help.
Which profession do you think is simple but pays really well in India?
Right now, nothing is simple. You have to slog. Everywhere is competition, and we have a great population, as you know.
Social media manager.
Maybe content creators?
No specific idea.
Data analyst, I guess.
I think interviewing people is a really easy job.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it pays well.
I think if you're the CEO, right, of any company, you just have to give out ideas and.
But it takes a lot to get to the CEO position, yeah?
Yeah, but if you're just starting out a business and it's your own idea, you'll just get a few people to execute it, and it's your idea at the end.
Very
of the day.
relatable, I do that.
I think construction and an architect probably.
Sales, because people, I know few individuals might find it difficult to reach their target, the sales target, but once they reach the sales target, their actual salary is nothing but they get 3-4 times of incentives. I've seen the pay bills, I've seen the salary slips. It goes to the next level.
I don't know about Bangalore, but in my hometown, Karyana stores are a very big thing. There are certain stores which have 5 to 6 branches, and they earn a lot more, and the owners are just sitting. Everything is done by workers.
Food blogging, I think. I mean, either khana milega or ya paisa.
Content creation, I guess.
I don't know, I'm a BBA student, it's hard for me.
Streaming and all, on Twitch and other games and stuff, it's tough as there is a lot of competition, but to be honest, it's a little simple.
Content creating.
I actually recently got married, so I feel the shadi segment, it pays off really well. The photographers, the makeup artists, the decor people, anything you give your hand to, everyone's quoting so high.
I think everything's difficult right now. Like, there's competition in every single thing. Like, I'm doing computer science and there's a hell of competition. Like, if you're not doing internships, you're not getting placements, you're not getting to go masters.
Whatever profession you choose, you have to give more than that what we have. And India is a very populated country, so you have to give the most of the best from within yourself.
IT, all the men here, like, they're just earning. You just study, get into a good college, and get into a good company, and then you're good to go. Because eventually, I've seen so many people doing like crazy IT stuff, and then they're earning like it's amazing. But they're just working for like 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, and they're coming back home.
Advertising is a field where maybe there are not too many qualifications to get in, but it pays you well.
All my friends, I'm not from Bangalore, so all my friends back home, they're employed by Bangalore companies, but they're working from home. So they're having the time of their lives. They're saving on rent, they're saving on travel, they're saving on every possible thing.
For me, I think content creation, like no offense to anybody out there, but then it's not simple, I know, but like I think it's like you can be on your own. There's like job security to some extent, I can say.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the word investment?
Money. All money. My dad's property.
Risks.
Mutual funds.
Money. Stock market.
Zomato. Safety.
SIP.
Saving for future.
Saving money and making more money out of it.
SIP.
Real estate.
Real estate.
Stocks, mutual funds, debt mutual funds, real estate investment trusts, so many things like that.
For me, an investment would be an experience, be it travel, be it food, be it clothes. So that is what I consider an
Future
investment.
investment is what he's asking.
So this works for me. If I travel somewhere, it is an investment for my future. It builds my character.
It is mutual fund. Whether you do lump sum or SIP, mutual fund is the first option comes to my mind. The reason behind this, you have the liquidity whenever you want the money.